Hello, Matty boy.
Hello, dear Forrest. How are you, my friend?
All the better for hearing you, seeing you. Oh, it's gorgeous,
I wish
mate.
I could smell you. That would make
I
it even more immersive.
yeah. Just had a wash, mate. So I smell
Really? So have I.
smell divine, pal. And you,
Mm.
yeah. We're in a new place, mate. We're in your kitchen.
Welcome to my kitchen. This
Hello.
is my granolas there.
Wow. So what
But
have you moved the table then?
so Rachel's got this kind of like extendable kind of table thing that's by our middle wall.
Oh,
And we've been using this way more than the actual dining table that is no more than a meter away from the kitchen. I think we're gonna just use this table from now on, and then we're gonna get rid of that corner and make it more of a livable space. And
oh,
I'm thinking, I might get some sort of backdrop, guys.
uh, oh.
Don't mind me, guys, but I'm gonna give myself a little backdrop for the podcast.
Oh, I see. I see how it is. I'll get a new microphone. He's got to get a new background.
Yeah,
Get
literally.
that. But to be honest, mate, now you've got that backdrop. It looks so sharp. Like it looked really popping, mate. It's
Yeah, man.
gorgeous.
Yeah, right.
Very nice. What a
Yeah,
lovely set of kitchen cupboards there, mate.
thank you. I just realized, is it quite echoey? Because it's
Yeah.
so big. It's not that big, guys. Don't worry. Flush
living
with cash.
living in a fucking mansion. That's me.
I can just hear my voice coming back to me. Anyway, it's fine. Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter.
It's gorgeous, mate.
How was life, Forrest? How's your week been?
Oh, week's been all right. It's very busy.
It
Life
is,
is
isn't
very,
it?
and it just keeps getting busier. Even though we're like, oh yeah, we'll be all right in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I,
It's-
I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm part of this little project that you're doing as well.
Oh yeah, we do. Got a little project at work that Matt's involved in, and whoo, that's taking up my time.
It is a hoozy. It's great. Yes, here we are. Here we are. Another episode, another week. It's a movie. I'm delighted
We're back.
we're doing a movie.
Oh, it was so much easier to watch. I've got to be honest.
It really was. And honestly, I've just finished watching the last half an hour about an hour ago. I then watched a load of deep dive videos. Yeah.
Ooh.
But Forrest, what are we
Yeah.
talking about, mate? What are we doing?
Today, mate, we are delving in to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Immediate thoughts, please, Matt.
Oh, okay. I got to stand up. I got to stand up.
He's got to
I got
stand
to do
up.
this.
Yes.
I got to do that. Honestly,
You are very loud for 10, half 10 in the morning.
that's why I stood back. That's why I was all over there. I had to. Oh my shit. Honestly,
How good, right?
this is the second time watching it, and I fuck, it's so good.
It's
I'm not joking. I'm not. I'm
amazing.
literally. This is genuine emotion. I'm not heightening this just for the podcast. Legit, it's fucking brilliant.
It is like fucking everything is so finely tuned. There's
Yeah.
one part of it that you could go, yeah, but everything it is just solid. Solid cast, solid action, solid
Yeah.
cinematography, solid story, interesting story, different variety of scenes within the story, action scenes.
Oh,
Mental.
oh.
Oh, there's so much, mate.
Honestly, there's so much to talk about, but like in
Rich
terms of,
tapestry.
oh my
of
god.
love.
Yeah.
Those words have never escaped my mouth before.
No, they haven't. That really took me by surprise. Um, yeah, like honestly, okay. So first thoughts. it hits on almost every level in terms of, like you say, storytelling, visual, action sequences, character, casting, cinematography, everything it hits. There are, like you do say, there are little bits here and there, but it's not massive. It's very minute kind of like issues for me. But I think on the whole, what I really loved is this is a tone and a theme and a narrative that the MCU have been missing up until this point. And the introduction of this hero is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And what's so fantastic about this, in particular, is the fact that the origin of Shang-Chi is so vast and it's so detailed and it's layered. And every character has detail, like context, historical context. There's lots of richness going on in everybody's story. And it plays out so well. So well. And it, for me as well, what I love about it is that if say for instance, you just watch this not knowing it was an MCU movie, you'd absolutely watch it and not know that it would be part of this universe. Like it quite sufficiently stands on its own, which I actually think is a really great thing. You could just watch this and not worry about, okay, cool, so do I need to understand Spider-Man's history here? Do I need to understand who the Hulk? No, you don't. Just watch this story. Focus on this one story. And this will then eventually, at the end of the movie, in the post-credit sequences, link with the universe. Perfect. Yep. That's all we need.
Absolutely agree. And and especially coming off of What If, where certain episodes were definitely not that, right?
Yeah.
Having this, which was just, as you say, completely fresh, nothing I needed to know beforehand, and it was just delightful. And many times doesn't even feel like Marvel. No, it feels like a completely separate martial arts, completely different movie, and it's gorgeous, and just everything about it is amazing. And I'm going to hit you straight with a fact here, Matt.
Oh, okay.
That it has one of the lowest budgets in all of the Marvel films. So it's only paralleled in terms of budget by the likes of the first Iron Man film, which is lower budget, and Incredible Hulk, which is a lower budget.
That kind of cancels out one of my gripes, but it's really small. So one of my smallest gripes, and I'll say it right now, was the visual effects in certain moments. I think one particular moment was the bus scene. Now, the bus sequence is iconic in its own right. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Incredible.
But there was a few outside shots, external shots of the bus as it was traveling through San Francisco. It's San Francisco, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was so clunky and it was very apparent. It was very unfinished, or it looked at least unfinished. And now understanding it was the lowest budget since Iron Man, like it makes sense. But like again, that's a tiny gripe, and those shots lasted half a second. Right.
Yeah.
And if you're really looking out for it, you'll see those moments. But I think overall, I mean, how do we start, mate? Where do you want to start? I mean, do you want to talk fight sequences? Do you want to talk about the scenes, the character? Where do you want to go?
Let me start with what we always forget because we haven't done enough films recently, which is the synopsis, man. Let's start with that.
You better be using those effects.
Oh. Well, hello, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. So, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Marvel Studios, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Stars Simu Liu. No, that's bad. That's a bad start there. Simu Liu. And I especially looked this up beforehand as well. Right, cool. Let's start again.
You're so echoey. It's amazing.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings stars Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, who must confront the past he thought he left behind when he's drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization. The film also stars Tony Leung as Wenwu, Awkwafina as Shang-Chi's friend Katie, and Michelle Yeoh as Yang Nan. as well as Falashem, Mengazak, Florian Ventanu. Right, why has it got all their names in? Is this a synopsis or what? That is not a synopsis. Right, I'm going to turn that. That is not a synopsis. That is a fucking, like, trap. What is that about? Honestly, I came into this, right, because, and I did, right, so I wanted to do as much research about names, pronunciations, because I knew we were going into this. You got to, it's only respectful you say the names right if you're going to say them. But I did not expect, Matt, to be hit with a synopsis that asked me to say every single fucking name straight away.
Mate,
what a trickster on Rotten Tomatoes.
It deliberately did that.
That offers absolutely no information about like the actual content of the film in the synopsis, though.
No, I don't even know if it was audible, dear listener. I'm so sorry. If your headphones on, I'm so sorry.
Did you not? Was their effect far too much?
Mate, it was like you were in like the Eurotunnel alone. Like,
okay, is something like that better?
See, that's so much more manageable. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was like,
why didn't you stop me?
I tried.
Because I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at the thing. That's why I said. But yeah, okay. We're just gonna skip that. But the idea is, what was the actual information side of that? That was the confront the past he thought he left behind when he's drawn into the web of the mysterious 10 Rings organisation. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start and talk about these 10 rings. Is that okay?
You talk about your ring, mate.
I'm going to talk about these rings. There's so many. Now, what I love about the 10 rings is that they are used so brilliantly in terms of like action sequences. Like, it sounds really silly, but like when you look at people's powers in the MCU, you look at how people are using their, like, Thor's got his hammer, you've got, the Hulk's got his strength, you got Iron Man's got his tech, and you're always looking for like new features or different features or how they use their armory or weaponry that they've got. Now, these are just 10 what are effective just bangles that are going on people's forearms, but they are used in such creative ways to create different things. Now, I know that there are tie-ins, and we'll be talking about the tie-ins with Miss Marvel as well, but like the way that it's kind of like used as kind of flight, it's used as weaponry, it's used as whips, it's used in so many different multifaceted ways. I really loved the way every time, this is the thing, genuinely, every time the 10 rings were being used in a fight sequence, I was like, oh my God, okay, let's see what else they can do next. Yeah. And like if you watch an Iron Man, you're like, okay, cool, he's just going to go, okay, he's going to fly, he's going to then, shoot some like missiles from his shoulders, whatever. And that's coming and that's all he can do, right? Mm. But with this, it felt like every fight sequence, there was something new that the 10 rings provided, okay? Yeah. And also the richness of the history of the 10 rings, there's all kind of mythology behind it, and I know the end of the movie is all about understanding what that's about, and I think we still are yet to understand in our current timeline of what are these 10 rings and how it's going to be sort of linked in with the Avenger movies and stuff. But yeah, like I think the concept of the 10 rings, and obviously this has come all the way back from Iron Man 3, when the first, with Trevor Slattery, which is great to see him back in this movie as well, which is just a brilliant addition to it. And rounding up his story as well, when he was the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. It was just, I think, what do you think about these 10 rings? I just think it's a really great piece of weaponry, powerful tool.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because you see so much of them in this film, but you learn so little about them.
Yeah.
So it's I think, and that's like you say, we're gonna evidently we're gonna see the next film. I imagine is going to explore the history of these 10 rings and explore what is this message that it's kind of emitting within them, right?
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved the powers they brought. I thought it was really. That's where the CGI did really well for me. Is like those
Yeah.
bits where we're flying around everywhere, doing different things. Um, yeah, really, I think I'm intrigued to see what becomes of the Ten Rings. I
Hmm.
think for me that wasn't, which is ironic, bearing in mind it was part of the film title. But
Mm.
actually, the Ten Rings themselves were kind of the bottom of the pile, really, in terms of the things that were explored within this film. I'd argue.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite sequences of how the Ten Rings were used, obviously at the end in particular, when it was the last kind of fight with Shang-Chi and Wenwu. But like when Wenwu meets Shang-Chi's mother in the forest, and what I really love is there's this kind of like immediate fight that plays out, but then it becomes this amazing dance-like courtship in a way.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something, and again, this is in terms of the history of martial arts and the history of kind of like kung fu in movies as well.
Mm.
It's not only used as a form of fighting and storytelling between good versus evil, but it's choreographed movement.
Yeah.
It is dance like movement, and what's really powerful is that you can tell narratives through that kind of form as well. You know, with our experience in the arts as well, like we know, we talk about physical theatre all the time about how physical theatre is used to physically tell narratives and stories. But I honestly, I was compelled in that moment. I was watching every single bit of action, every facial expression, and as it kind of like went through, you could see that there was this likingness to each other, and it became less of a fight, but more of a courtship and a dance, and it was just, and it's intertwined with this wonderful cultural heritage that this kind of art form provides, and it is. This is the thing, martial arts is an art form.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It is an art form, and it's also a wonderful way of telling storytelling. This movie has been said that it was very much heavily influenced by Jackie Chan, and I think one of Jackie Chan's stunt coordinators was also on this movie. And a lot of what came through the kind of what Jackie Chan achieved can actually be seen in this movie as a wonderful homage as well. But
Mm.
like the story of Shang-Chi as well has been proven to be influenced by Bruce Lee as well. So you've got all of these kind of tie-ins that play in, and this is what's so wonderful is that it's a gorgeous homage to all of these wonderful movies and pieces of cinema history that have been made by these iconic people like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, but it kind of threads through into all these moments. And this is the thing, like I mean, every single fight sequence, mate,
Oh,
it hits.
so I just want, whilst you were doing that and doing a bit of research, so basically the fight choreographers that were in charge of it. So Brad Allen, who was the first non-Asian member of the Jackie Chan stunt team.
There you go. That's the one I'm
Um,
talking about. Yep.
at Brad Allen, Andy Cheng was, I think Andy Cheng was also a former member, and did the fight choreography. And there was also a long time Hollywood action and stunt choreographer Peng Zhang Li. So it's three fight choreographers for this film, and yeah, I it was just amazing. And the way they must have allowed them to really focus on what they were doing, and have the time, because there's so many scenes that required it. So thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely, some wild fight scenes. Like I say, whether it's the bus scene, the iconic bus scene, whether it's on the side of the building in San Francisco, which, by the way, when you said San Francisco earlier, it's actually where the sister was. That's not where Shang-Chi.
Oh right. Okay.
I
Oh, they're called California, aren't they?
Yeah, California, that's it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and on the side of the building in San Francisco, there was a great scene, and then the really kind of martial arts driven scenes. So yeah, just absolutely insane choreography, and that's what I don't think you know with Shang-Chi, the difference will be is that when they start to put him into Avengers films or they start putting him in films with other superheroes, you're not going to get that treatment like you would
No.
in a standalone
No.
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi film. So.
Before I move, and as well, like in terms of like, these fight sequences, what Jackie Chan achieves so well in his movies is that he does a lot of environmental based fighting. So, like, what's the movies? What's those comedy movies he's done? Oh, they've gone in my head. What's the one he did with Owen Wilson?
No idea, mate. To be honest.
Shanghai Nights.
Ah.
The Shanghai Nights. That
Wow, that projected out of your.
It is. That fell out of my face.
Yeah, Shanghai. Yeah.
Shanghai. Now, a lot of his movies are always based on kind of like where you are in that moment. So, using the kind of the environmental kind of space that you're in for the fight sequences. So, for instance, the reason why I love the bus sequence so well is that you can see that he's kind of like propelling through and around the poles. He's using the kind of expandable material that you've got in between the both kind of carriages of the bus and kind of pushing himself and bouncing himself around. He's using all types of different things that he's in the environment in to help him move his fight forward. He does it as well. And again, this is equally amazing moment. The scaffolding fight scene.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Who the hell thought of that? That is amazing.
It's absolutely it was absolutely stunning, and also what I also like about this film is none of them seem to go on for too long. They are just perfect. Like that scaffolding one, not long at all. Really, it's like a snapshot, about 30 seconds, no longer than a minute for sure, of that action, and it's done. But it's so good. Amazing.
It is so good, and again, it's the same, that environmental kind of thing. The fact that they were using the bamboo, swinging around the bamboo, bits of the bamboo breaking off, hitting other people with it, going in, going round. It's just brilliant movement sequences. I can't. If you haven't seen it, dear listener, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it. Okay, there's only so many movies that we and TV shows that we do go, actually, no, you definitely need to go and see it. What if you could probably miss it, maybe, but like this, definitely go and see it. I mean, if you haven't seen it and you have, let us know what you think about the fight sequences in particular, because that's the thing. I don't know if it's just me and the fact that we kind of maybe we have a different eye to it in terms of like choreographed movement.
Yeah,
but like, I think it just holds so well visually. And like you say, when he comes into the Avengers, when Shang-Chi comes into the Avengers, he has got such a unique fighting style that it's going to bring so many different and new elements to these big fight sequences, endgame-esque fight sequences, that what is Shang-Chi going to now put in? I honestly just so happy about this. It's such a great addition.
What I am really surprised about, and I was going to bring this up later, but you've kind of alluded to it, is Shang-Chi not being in anything so far.
Yeah.
Like anything else. Yeah. They've not actually announced when the second film was going to be.
That's crazy.
Which is mad. And yet we've heard far more about an Eternal sequel than we have about Shang-Chi. And I'm like, what the fuck is... But I find it very bizarre that we haven't had any... It was such an enjoyed movie, and to be honest, maybe it's a good sign, because it was so loved, they don't want to fuck up bringing him back. So actually, they're really thinking about it. But I'm shocked.
In a moment, let's have a look at the tomato meter and see what the rating is, because we haven't done that in a while. But like, I think growing on that point, I feel exactly the same. I'm a bit concerned that there's no real announcements made about Shang-Chi going further. Now that I think there are confirmations that he will appear again. However, in terms of like further news on the second one, I just kind of think by this time, I mean, this movie came out about 2 years ago now.
It
came out 2021. So hopefully by now we would have at least heard developments, or at least in production for a Shang-Chi 2, which we haven't got. Now I trust K-Dog to the ends of the earth. But this does worry me a little bit, and I think it does deserve a little bit more dedication and time into investment with this character. This is a great character, and I think Shang-Chi has the ability to become one of the heads of the Avengers, to become one of the figureheads of the MCU. I know right now we're riding on Spider-Man. Tom Holland's the top dog right now. Even Doctor Strange, you can argue, is up there as well. But however, I think they could have, and I think they probably should have, over these last 2 years, spent some more time investing in Shang-Chi so we can meet that
Now,
plethora.
funny you should mention Spider-Man. I
Mm,
have a feeling it could all be part of Spider-Man 4. Now, I
right.
say this because for two reasons.
Yeah.
One, there is a very well-known comic set of comics where Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. Spider-Man loses his spider senses,
Yeah.
and Shang-Chi develops. They kind of create like a version of their martial arts, or a version of his martial arts, and Spider-Man kind of adopts that.
Right.
And it's and Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. There's quite lot of comics where they kind of work together, whether it's in Avengers or separately. Um, and I wonder whether, bearing in mind the mantle's kind of gone to Spider-Man from Iron Man, that actually we might see a Shang-Chi Spider-Man mix up.
Yeah.
Or also, it's kind if you think back to the last Spider-Man film, which we haven't covered on the podcast yet, No Way Home, is it
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
one? Yeah. So when we get to that, obviously we get quite a lot of these kind of portholes, don't we? What are they called?
The I
All links to Wong and all of that
I say
stuff.
Wong holes.
Wong holes. Yeah, but that's where we know it from, right?
Yeah.
The Wong hole, or strange strange hole, Wong hole, all
Wong
of
should
those type of
absolutely
stuff.
make that joke. He said, "Come on, come into my Wong hole."
Come into my Wong hole. And then obviously with the links with Wong within this film, I just wonder whether we might Spider-Man 4 might breach that. Whether we might that might
Yeah.
be where Shang-Chi next appears,
Yep.
before his own film again. I think
Hmm.
I might be wrong, but I've just got I've got a feeling those two will collide at some point. Also, the other thing is that we obviously at the end of the film we get, like I say, this message emits from the Ten Rings,
Yep.
and that's kind of going to set us up for a sequel. I wonder whether the delay in announcing any more information could it be because of what that's going to link to? Maybe they've had to go back to the drawing board because of other changes with other Marvel projects.
Maybe.
Maybe there's like that, yeah. Because basically what I'm getting at is I can't imagine that the sequel will be standalone Shang-Chi.
No, it's
So
definitely threaded in now, isn't it?
it's got to thread in
Yeah.
somehow. So is it that it was going to thread in somehow with Kang? That's going to get us to the Kang dynasty, but because the whole thing's going on there, they're not sure. I'm just really intrigued whether those conversations are being had.
I got a theory. Okay.
Hit me up.
About these 10 rings. I have a feeling because of the mystic and kind of like elusiveness of the history of these 10 rings, and obviously in the post-credit sequence we had uh, Bruce Banner, we had Captain Marvel, and Wu trying to understand what it is. They said it's not Shatari, it's not
Vibranium.
vibranium. It predates thousands of years. Okay, so they've been told the history of this is that it predates about 1,000 years ago, and like Bruce had done, it's definitely much earlier than that. It's definitely coming from somewhere else. I've got a feeling these 10 rings are either going to be instrumental in the defeat for Kang, or they will be the instruments that will be used to defeat Kang. I feel like the elusiveness of these 10 rings will become a real kind of main component to whatever the culmination is of the Kang dynasty.
I completely agree. I think it's going to be pivotal to Kang.
Yeah.
Because so they're talking about many years ago, which brings time into it.
Yeah.
So, and the beginning of time potentially, is that what we're looking at? And obviously, Kang, Timekeepers,
Yeah.
TVA, you're starting to see, if you look at those connections, that actually that could be, yeah, I think you're correct. I think you're completely right, Matt.
What?
That will be what will kill Kang in a way.
Yeah. Like, what if that at the end credit sequence it said it's sending a beacon, it's sending a signal. Do you think? I mean, I don't know if we now know what that signal is, but is that signal maybe the signal to the outer universe is that the multiverse has been opened?
Possibly.
Is that the signal that oh shit, the multiverse is expanded? Like we've gone into, all these different time variants and stuff.
Could it be a signal from the Watcher?
Could it be a signal from the Watcher?
Connects us to What If? Because this is straight after What If. We're aware of the Watcher and the Guardians of the Multiverse. Could it be his signal to?
I like that. Well, you've got all these things that are so potentially connected. You could also say that this is a signal to the Celestials, or from the Celestials, or it's from a elder god. We've got all these elder gods that are playing into. We saw Gorath in Multiverse of Madness. We've got all these different Celestials now coming into the Eternals. There's something bigger going on, which still is yet to be explained.
I really hope not.
I know.
Out of the two theories we've got, if it's Celestials, I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. But I tell you what, we can rule out, even though it breaks my heart, is anything Obadiah or Thanos related. All right.
Are you finally letting go of that?
I'm not prepared to bring in a theory about Thanos or Obadiah. Or should I say Thanos Obadiah, because they're the same person? But I'm not. Whatever. I'm not prepared to bring. Yeah. No. I think. Yeah. I think it will be connected to Kang, but because of everything that's going on, with that actor and with the future, I think K-Dog and Co are having to rethink slightly, maybe. I might be completely wrong, but I've just got to. I think because it's going to be so pivotal to the Kang Dynasty, which, as I don't think we've been able to announce this because it didn't. Yeah, it got announced a few days ago. The Avengers films have been delayed.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about this in our monthly roundup episode, which will be next week.
Yeah. But connected to this, obviously, if they're delayed, then actually that might be a reason why Shang-Chi, no more information has come out. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a really, really good point. Yeah. I think we should absolutely deep dive into that next week, dear listener. So let's wait for that. Stay tuned for that. Can we talk about our favourite supporting artists?
I was just about to say, let's talk about the actors. This is just rich.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start. In terms of we haven't done this in absolutely ages, so I think we need to bring this back. Because it's a movie, it's talking about our secondary characters, right?
Oh, favourites.
People in the background, people that don't, play too much into the narrative, but provide so much more to the whole aesthetic. I've got to give a massive shout out to Zach Cherry, who plays Clev in The Bus, who's doing the stream during the bus feast.
Oh my God, he's amazing. That is such
funny.
a good part. And he plays it so convincingly. And it's just so well done.
Yeah, he kind of he holds the camera and he goes, "Hi guys, I'm going to be streaming this fighting for you today. I've got a little bit of experience in martial arts. I'll be grading this as we go along." I'm like, you absolute legend. So funny.
I want Clev to turn up in other films.
Yes, what? You say that.
Oh.
He has turned up in another
Shut the front door, Matt. Where, mate? Where has he turned up?
If you watched, dear listener, Spider-Man Homecoming, okay, Clev is actually the hot dog cart guy who calls out to Spider-Man to go, "Hey, Spider-Man, if you're Spider-Man, why don't you do a Spidey flip?" And he does a Spidey flip. And he's like, "Yay!" That is Clev, everybody.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is
And He's also a comedian, and apparently he went on Stephen Colbert during the time after Homecoming and actually put in a petition for his character in Spider-Man: Homecoming to be an actual legit Marvel superhero character, like a hot dog cart man or something.
Oh my god.
So I think him coming into Shang-Chi was his payoff.
That is absolutely I love it. He's so this, and so I just loaded like an information page about him, right?
Oh, really?
And it says in his youth, Clev took martial arts classes. Later, when he became an adult, he attempted to drive a bus multiple times, and each time resulted in him getting yelled at.
I fucking love that. He's got a dedicated page.
He's got a dedicated page. That is absolutely in 2024. Cleb was on the number one California bus in San Francisco. Absolute genius. But yeah, I want Cleb to basically take up the mantle that poor Stan Lee can no longer do, which was cameo in every film. Let's get Cleb.
We do need that.
Cleb in every film. Regardless of what film it is, can be as dark as you like, and let's get a little bit of Cleb happiness in there.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Who else did you like in the film?
In terms of main characters, I thought the dynamic between Shang-Chi and Katie, who's played by Awkwafina, is absolutely brilliant. Katie is so funny, so good, and so charming as well. And again, the relationship dynamic, you know. I mean, they don't go straight into are they attracted to each other or not? Are they together? Are they not? It's not even a plot point. It's not even it's a legit friendship, and if it becomes that, fine, whatever, let it blossom. It's not a main thread in a narrative, which I really love this trend happening in movies now, where it's not all about this kind of platonic kind of, like, not platonic, but like this kind of will they, won't they? Are they attracted to each other? No, I don't know. Is this going to drive our plot point? Are we going to get to a point in the climax of the movie where I'm going to have to try and save you or kill this dragon? And like, no, it's not. It's not about that. It's just them being brilliant and being hilarious and being proper mates. And it plays off brilliantly. And I absolutely love, and honestly, I legit cheered when it was Katie's moment with the bow and arrow.
Yes!
And she just drives it through that dragon's
Straight
throat.
through the dragon. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's one of my notes. Absolutely love their relationship. I love the fact that it is almost like Marvel righted the wrong of Loki. Sylvie and Loki.
Yes, mate.
This is exactly how Sylvie and Loki should have been. It 100%. Shouldn't have gone straight into some weird love thing that was absolutely fucking barbaric. Let's just have two.
That is such a good poll, dear listener. Okay, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the relationship dynamic between Katie and Shang-Chi, or do you prefer the relationship dynamic between Loki and Sylvie? I nearly said Siri. Siri. As my brain was like, Siri? No, Sylvie.
Sylvie, yeah. Absolutely. I love it. I think it's great. I love the karaoke scenes. I love the fact Wong gets involved in the karaoke at the end.
Yeah,
it's just so good. And both big shout out to both of the actors. They're absolutely incredible. Simu Liu is just, oh my god, I can watch it all. And he portrays the emotion of the mother and emotion of what's happened there and his sister incredibly well. Let's bring up the sister. So Zailing, now Zailing, I have a little. This is one of my small little gripes, I think, right? And it's about the story, right? So Shang-Chi has seen his mother die in front of him, right? And he
Yeah.
didn't protect. He was a child himself, so he could. He did what he would do, which is watch from afar, and you're not getting involved in that, right? Now, what I don't understand is that after that, Shang-Chi then leaves his father's compound, moves away, and doesn't communicate with Zayling at all during that time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and what confuses me about that is you've watched your mum die, right, to the hands of an incredible amount of men, right? It was
Yeah, yeah.
like a lot of men killed his mum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he leaves his sister with a man he knows is very dangerous. It just slightly icks me that I don't believe that as a story element.
That's a really, really good point. I
Because
didn't see. I didn't notice that, but now you mention it. Yeah.
you're not. Why would you
Yeah.
leave? You're
Yeah.
not. You're not going to do that,
That's a
are
weird
you?
choice. Yeah.
His younger sister, he would absolutely have taken her with him.
Yeah. 100%.
So, and that's yeah.
Well, I
I
think there's
love yeah.
there is this kind of like undertone which I think is paid off really nicely with her character at the end when she takes over the compound, is where there's this like she's a female, she's not there to fight, she's there just to sort of sit there and nod at me and just do what I say. And son, you've got to go and train now. You've got to go and train. You've got to go do this. Yeah, you're going to be a fighter. And he gets absolutely horrendously hounded to become this killing machine. Goes off, on his first thing when he's 14. But maybe as a teenager, from his perspective, he didn't know what else to do. He knew that he didn't need to, he didn't want to be in this space. He had to go, but he didn't know what else to do in that moment. Maybe it was. I think it might have been really nice to see that moment
Yeah.
of that choice when he decided to leave and not and obviously not not bring his sister with him. Maybe I don't know, but like I think at the end the payoff is the fact like, look, hey, screw it, we're gonna get rid of all these men. We're gonna bring in our girls. Okay, we're gonna bring the fighting girls. All right, they're gonna be fighting alongside the men. And I think there's that undertone. I think that's paid off
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie. I think there's a historically as well, if you're thinking about the culture as well, that kind of gender shift as well in terms of what your roles are as a male and female. In the Eastern kind of culture's very different. So it's about, I think they played that off really nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Without it
Absolutely.
being a narrative point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I think I would like to. There must be stuff where the creative team behind the film elaborate why, what do they think that choice was? Why why would Shang-Chi leave his sister?
Yeah.
When he's just been through that. So yeah, I'll be intrigued. That's K-Dog or anyone of the team, if you're listening, let us know. Get in touch.
Okay, Doc. Do you have a favourite moment in the movie, My Dear Forest?
My favourite. I have a favourite movie in the movie. Yes.
Great. I'm just gonna do some roll-on deodorant while you tell me your favourite bit.
Fantastic. Lovely. That is new.
Look, we're all comfortable with each other, dear listener. We all know each other. We're all friends here. It's nothing but love. Look, I just need to get myself ready before I go out in a moment. Yeah, all right. There we go. Look, there we go. Go on, Forrest.
Favourite moment. I would have to go for either the bus scene. Absolutely loving the bus scene. I think there's just there's comedy in it, there's action in it. You explore more about the characters, see more about Katie in that. It's bus scene, or it would no. Oh no, I'm going to say bus scene. Let's be definitive. Bus scene. What about you?
Oh gosh, it's really difficult. There are I got top moments. Bus scene is definitely it. The end sequence as well. I think the moment when Wu kind of really bangs on the on what is effectively the scales of that dragon that comes through, and it's just that heightened moment. I think in terms of the impending kind of doom that's coming ahead. I really love that moment. The color palette as well in that final sequence is great. The one bit I really did enjoy, and it's just it's not a massive moment, but it is the moment where they go to that fight pit to go to sort of like all the kind of like different
with
fights
Abomination and Wong.
Abomination and Wong in there. What was really great is there's one little Easter egg that I noticed. You got all these kind of like different cubicles where people are just like fighting each other and people are betting on them and stuff. There's one you go past where you see somebody that looks like they've got the powers of what extremists worked on in Iron Man 3 with the reds and gold kind of like stuff running through their bodies. And they're fighting an actual widow from Black Widow that escaped from the movie.
Ooh.
Which is played by Jade Wu, who is credited as a widow.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, the bit with Abomination, when Emil comes back, it's just a really great moment. I do remember watching it the first time, and there was already spoilers that the Abomination comes back from this moment. I do remember it kind of got spoiled before it came out. But like, I was just really happy to see it. And what's really great as well is now we've seen She-Hulk, but we've seen it ourselves. But when we review it, when Wu opens up the portal again, you can see his prison in the background.
Yes, and it was so good that they used the same. Yeah, absolutely.
The same compound.
I absolutely spotted that. Because one thing I saw online and I don't think they do in She-Hulk, do they? Is explore Wong and the Abomination. How are they connected?
I know. It's kind of almost, it's like, how dare you, Wong, go and be mates with effectively Hulk's like nemesis.
Yeah. So
what's that about?
Well, and that's the thing. There is stuff online that is asking exactly that.
Do you know what's a real shame?
What's their little buddy up?
I really don't think that was explained in She-Hulk, where it really should have been.
I don't think so. Wong's in it many times, isn't he? But I don't think, I do not think it's explained quite. But this is why we need to go back and watch it. We'll figure it out.
We'll have to see. Yes.
Ben Kingsley. Let's talk about very briefly about not the Mandalorian. That is completely not
completely different.
The Mandarin. So I think we both of the view in Iron Man 3. We weren't very much a fan of that twist.
I think when he was playing it seriously with commitment, and this is what I was fooled on when it first came out. I was like, oh my god, Ben Kingsley is an amazing actor. In order for him to play an MCU villain, he's got to be really maniacal, threatening, commanding, and he does that in spades through his classical training. But like, it obviously doesn't hit the way it's meant to be, and he's obviously not the main villain in that story, and it is a bit of a shame. But also, I think it's probably a good call that he didn't play the Mandarin, because obviously it's just not the right casting as well. But I think the payoff of him coming back here was great. I'm really surprised he actually said yes to this, personally. So,
another funny you should say. It's like you're reading my brain.
No.
So, a little bit of a fact for you, right?
Okay.
So Creton, who was the director for this, let me just find his full name. Creton. Why has it just got the name Creton? That's how irritating. Director, please give me the director. Okay, Destin Daniel Creton. So, little fact, massive fan of Ben Kingsley anyway, right? And in order to say, so he rang Ben up and he said, look, would you be interested in joining a film? In joining a film, coming back as Mandarin slash Slattery. And basically, on the other side of the phone, Ben was method acting as the character, right?
What a legend!
So he replied. So he was like, he brought him over, pretended he was bringing the guy over, and go, oh, they've asked if you want to be in this film, and he would be the actor, finding out that they want him part of the film. And that is how Ben Kingsley got the role. That's how he found out he got the role.
That must be so confusing. Yes, no, I'll absolutely do it. No, are you going to do it? No, Ben, seriously, we've offered you the role. No, yeah, I'll do it.
Trevor's up for it. What? We're game for this.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So and literally, the director's a massive Ben Kingsley fan, so he knew straight from the off that's what he wanted in this film.
I think I will say this with, about Ben Kingsley, is that he really is a true icon in terms of being on a stage actor and a screen actor. He has played some of the most iconic roles, but also been able to achieve certain things in his career that many people couldn't reach the heights to. I honestly have so much tremendous respect for him, and you can tell just by that story as well, mate. He must be an absolutely brilliant sport, and what a good sport he was as well to be in this movie. He wasn't taking too much screen time. He was literally there for the comedic effect. He was literally there for the payoff for his story, and it worked so well. It wasn't overused. It wasn't underused. It was the perfect amount.
Yeah. Absolutely, and he, and they work with him to train him. So a lot of people wonder whether he might appear in a sequel and whether he'll be they'll actually.
I hope so.
He'll go from being a weak shy character to being quite a strong, aid to Shang-Chi.
I want to see him ride a dragon.
Be amazing.
Wouldn't that be? Would be so cool.
It'd be sick.
That would be so cool. I've got to say that this movie, I feel like we're naturally wrapping.
Yes.
We come to an end. Good, because I was just about to go. I'm about to tell you what I think about it overall. Yeah. Give me my quiz packets.
It's got shall I quickly do tomato score?
Oh, of course. Oh God, yes.
So, and this is amazing, to be fair, because I've just been like, wow. So the tomato meter, the official one, is 91%. Very high, very well deserved.
So deserved.
Audience score, 98%. That is high.
That's mad.
And it well deserved, mate. Incredibly well deserved. Over 10,000 ratings, and that's 98%.
See, with that in its own right, it's like, why the hell are there no massive announcements on Shang-Chi? That is crazy.
Yeah. But like I say,
so deserved.
I think they are really, really being careful about the quality of any future Shang-Chi.
That's fair play.
They know, this is incredible IP then, and they've got to be careful with that.
Wow. That's amazing. Mate, this movie was an absolute joy to watch. I got 2/3 into the movie and I sat here going, oh my God, the amount of MCU content we have both watched over the last 2 years. And I'm sat here going, I am loving this. I'm loving this journey that you and I are on. I'm loving the journey that I'm watching right now in Shang-Chi. I can't wait to see what comes next with Shang-Chi. The movie was an absolute hit. I will happily, again, this is the thing, if somebody went to me, oh, do you want to watch Shang-Chi? I'd be like, yeah, I absolutely do. I would watch that any given moment, any time of the day. It is a proper good shout. Mate, in terms of my crisp packet, I'm gonna say, oh gosh, I'm gonna say this is the new pink bag of What's-Its.
What?
Have you seen them?
No.
Mate, they're like prawn cocktail though. They're really good. They don't They're proper filled to the brim. They're giant ones as well.
Prawn cocktail What's-Its?
Yeah, they're massive. And there's loads of them in there as well.
Oh.
It's filled to the brim. Filled to the absolute brim. It's got to be, I'm going to say 10 out of 10. I don't think I've given a movie a 10 out of 10 yet.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree though. Absolute 10 out of 10. This is, what is those, what's the bag of crisps where it's the different shapes? And you get the little wheel, and then they're little vehicle bits in a pack. They're
what?
they're usually sat next to the alien.
Like Space Invaders, like Monster Munch.
Yeah, but then the shapes might one.
Mate, what are you chatting about?
You know what I'm on about, Matt. Come on, mate. The the bit.
No, mate.
Crisp shapes. Space Invader.
Shape.
Vehicle bits. Oh, Transformer snack. Transformer snack.
Nope.
Oh my.
I've never eaten them.
Matt, look up a Transformer snack, right?
Okay.
So, anyway, long story short, Transformer snacks, because this for me, absolute 10 out of 10, and for me can only be paralleled by the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy. So a Transformer snack is because it is just like parts of the best pieces of Marvel.
What I wanted you to say is that it transformed the MCU.
It does.
But it
does.
has.
It has transformed, and you know, and I think, given that there are many projects in Marvel that are not doing very well, to say the least, that and hopefully they will see. You know, look at Guardians, look at Shang-Chi. Let's look at why are these so successful for Marvel, and let's fucking utilize that. And also, dare I say it, controversially, Guardians and Shang-Chi, what they do have together, on the most part, is that they're standalone.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians became, has been looped in the same way Shang-Chi will be.
Yeah.
But when it started, it was very much its own thing.
Yeah.
And I think, and actually, I know MCU is all about connection, and it can be, and Guardians works when it is connected with others, but actually having such a strong, solo presence has made them incredible.
It is. I cannot wait to see what comes next, and honestly, this has been nothing but a short of a joy, my friend.
It has.
It's
the
been a joy.
podcast, the film, seeing your face, just all of it. It's been an absolute joy. Then next week we're going to do a monthly roundup.
We blew it, and there's loads to talk about. Again, we've got to talk about these delays in the MCU projects. There's all kinds of things that's coming out. There's another allegation that's been coming out in terms of sexual assault with
Jonathan
Majors, but no, also oh god, who was the bad guy in Wakanda Forever?
Oh really?
Yeah.
What Neymar?
Neymar.
Neymar.
Yeah. There's been reports over Neymar as well. So we'll have to talk about that deep dive and get some more information on that. But yeah, lots to talk about. Dear listener, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for listening. As per frickin' usual, we appreciate the out of you. If you've got any questions, any thoughts on the podcast, anything that you want to share, please do give us an email at don'tbeherapodcast@gmail.com. Give us a good follow on the old Instagram. We're nearly at 1,400 followers, which is insane.
So excited. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. All right.
That's where we're at. See you on the flippity flip.
Bye.